I choose a lazy person to do a hard job because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it. Bill Gates. This lazy person is absolutely me, and this is why I made this course, to help you finish any hard job with an easy and quickly way. My name is Yusuf Zidane, graphic designer and photographer, and I will be your instructor throughout this course. Why you should take this course? Through my experience, I believe that if you want to go from point A to point B, you can use the regular way, or you can use a shortcut to save time and effort. And that is the core of this course. In this course, I will teach you some hidden and amazing features and options inside Photoshop that may not everybody knows about it. Besides that, I will give you some tips and tricks that I use to make amazing layouts quickly and in very easy way. In order to do that, you need to know more about Photoshop, and in this course you will. I appreciate time very much, so even this course itself will take less time and effort from you to finish it, because I made each lecture straight to the point, which made it as short as possible. So, what are you waiting for? Enroll now and meet me in your first lesson. In this video, I will show you a quick way to adjust the canvas size. Many people, if they want to do that, they either go to image size, and adjust the size. And in this situation, you will change the size of both the canvas and the content. Or, I'll press Ctrl Z, they go to image, canvas size, and do the same thing. But this time you will change the canvas size only. However, in many cases you need to adjust the size quickly without a specific measurements. To do that, simply you can use the crop tool to increase or to decrease the canvas size. But be careful about Delete Cropped Pixel option and Content Aware option. In this video, I will show you a quick way to adjust the text size. Many people, if they want to do that, they go to text size and choose it, or maybe write it manually, or they click and drag here to adjust its size. For me, the easiest way to do that is simply to use transformation by pressing Ctrl T and scale it up and down, of course with holding Shift and Alt to prevent distortion. In this video, I will tell you why you should stop using eraser tool. When you use eraser tool to erase some pixel from a layer, the only way to bring them back is using undo, Ctrl Z, which is not very handy in many cases, believe me. So, I recommend using layer mask instead. Make your mask, make sure to select it, and use the brush tool with black to delete and white to bring them back. Now you are out of undo cage and have more flexibility. In this video, I will teach you an easy and quickly way to compare among more than one modification without using many undos or even saving more than one document. First, we are going to use the history panel. So if it's not active, go to Window and choose History. Next, let's say I want to compare among this document and other ones with different colors, position, or even text. So I will press this button to make a snapshot, and let's make some modifications. Alright, let's go back to history panel and make another snapshot, and let's make one more modification. Alright, again go to history panel and make another snapshot. Now if you want to compare, you can simply choose the snapshot 1, snapshot 2, snapshot 3, etc. without filling the layers panel with many groups or even saving many file documents. So it's a very easy way to show your clients many ideas, and of course it's more professional.
Psst. Hey, are you enjoying the course? If you want to watch more courses from me, see the links in the description. I'm sure you will like it as well. Bye!
In this video, I will show you how to speed up your Photoshop performance and prevent any saving errors caused by low disk space. First, you need to press Ctrl K to open up the Preferences panel and look for Scratch Disks. Then, make the driver that has the biggest free space at the top, then lower and lower, etc. For my case, I have only two drivers, C and D, and it's obvious that the D has more free space, so I will activate it, select it, and choose the arrows to make it at the top, then the C below it. After that, press OK. And that's it. Now your Photoshop should be more quicker, and you will never see any errors that caused by low disk space. In this video, I will show you how to quickly use Auto Select option with the Move tool. First, let's discuss what Auto Select option is used for. Auto Select is used to quickly select layers in the canvas without looking for it in the Layers panel, especially when you are dealing with big amount of layers. However, in many cases, you may want to turn it on or off. So to do that quickly, just use the Control key. As you can see, it's now turned it off. So I will click Control and hold it. Now it's temporarily active, so I can click to select the layer. Then I can, for example, transform it or move it, rotate it, or do whatever I want. And by releasing the control, I will turn it off, or the opposite. If it's already on, holding control will temporarily deactivate it. So with this way, you will save the time going back and forth with your mouse to activate it or deactivate it. In this video, I will talk about Layers panel options. As you can see, I have a lot of layers, and I am making the Layers panel the only big panel here, and everything else is collapsed. That's because the Layers panel is the most used panel in Photoshop. However, you can make some changes in Layer panel options to save more space and of course more time. Just click right there and open Panel Options. I can reduce the size of the layer or maybe make it none to save more space. Again, and I can untick expand new effects. Let me just explain what it is. When you double click to make layer style, something like that, and click OK, it will be expanded, and most of the time you will click this arrow to collapse it. So you can save your time by going to panel options and untick expand new effects. Now when you double click to make any layer effect, it will be automatically collapsed. In this video, I will show you an easy way to use pen tool with curved paths. Many people, especially beginners, struggle with pen tool to make curved path like this. So the easy way to make curved paths is to start with straight one, and then when you hover over the path, notice the plus sign, click to add a point. Now hold Ctrl to select the white arrow and then click and drag like so. After that, you can adjust the path using again the white arrow with holding Ctrl. In this video, I will talk about one of the amazing features of Smart Object. With this feature, you can save a lot of time and effort when you are dealing with clones. Let me show you what I mean. For now, I have 3 rectangles, each one of them in individual layer, and obviously they are not Smart Object. So if I want to change all of them, I have to do that manually like so. It will be pain in the neck if you want to change a lot of clones. Imagine if you have all the alphabet. So at the beginning, make the first one Smart Object like so. I will delete that, and I will convert that one to Smart Object. And then I can make as many clones as I want. And now if I want to change all of them at once, all what I have to do is to double click on any one of them like so and change its color, close and click yes to save, and all of them will be changed. In this video, I will show you how to import more than one image inside one document with just a click. You are maybe saying that's very easy. I will just select my image, click and drag, then drop them inside Photoshop. Actually, what is going to happen is every image will be opened separately, and that's not what I want. So I will go to File, Close All. Instead, I will go to File, Scripts, and then I will choose Load File into Stack. Browse and select your images, click OK, and then click OK one more time. As you can see, every single image has been imported inside one document. In this video, I will show you how quickly you can find a font you want, or at least a closer one. We are going to use Match Font from the Type menu. But first, you need to type something. In my case, I would like to type Summer with any font. Let's adjust its size. And OK. After that, make sure you are selecting the type layer. Then go to Type, Match Font. Click and drag like so to make it easy for Photoshop to find your font. And as you can see, Photoshop has found many fonts that is closer to my font. Then I can click to choose my font. I guess that's a closer one, so I'll click OK. In this video, I will show you how to sample a color outside Photoshop. Let's say you are looking for a sepia color and you like it, one of those, let's say this one. You don't need to download the image and sampling it inside Photoshop. All what you need to do is to select the eyedropper tool, minimize Photoshop like so, then click, hold and drag like so. And here is our color we are looking for. In this video, I will show you a quick way to expand or contract a selection. Let me first start with the regular way. I will select my elliptical marquee tool and let's make a selection for this moon as much as I can go, something like that. Now let me zoom in. In this case, I need to expand the selection. So I will go to select, modify, expand, and now I need to guess maybe something like 10 pixels. Click OK. Nope, I need more. So I'll go to select, modify, expand. This time I will choose 5 pixels and so on. That's why I will show you a better way, which is transform selection. All what you have to do is to go again to select, but now select transform selection, and with holding Alt and Shift you can contract or expand your selection. So let me zoom in, holding Shift and Alt, and let's contract it like so. Click Enter, and here we are. In this video, I will show you how to copy from one document to another document at the exact same position. This technique is useful with repeated designs such as my course slides here, or maybe a menu or a small book or brochure you want to put a logo in the exact same position in each document. But make sure that every document has the same size and resolution. That's really important. So as you can see here, I have my document which has the Facebook and YouTube, and this document doesn't have the Facebook and YouTube, and I want to copy them at this document at the same exact position. So if I simply click and drag like so and put it here, it will be pain in the neck to figure out the exact position as those. So instead of doing that, just select any selection tool and select the layers you want to copy. For my case, I put them in the group, and then I will right click and choose duplicate group, or if you want to duplicate a layer, just select the layer and right click, then duplicate layer. Right now, right click, duplicate group, and I need to choose the document I want them to be copied in. So I will choose 2, as you can see, and click OK. Now when I switch, they will be copied at the exact same position, as you can see. In this video, I will show you how to transform layer mask. As you can see here, I use this vector shape as a reference to make a layer mask to this layer to make this effect that you are seeing. But after doing it, I thought that I need the heart to be bigger and maybe rotate it a little. So I don't have to delete the mask and start all over again. That's time consuming. All what I need to do is simply unlink the mask from the layer and make sure to select the mask, which will not only allow me to reposition the mask, which is really useful, but also I can press Ctrl T to transform the mask, rotate it, or do whatever I want. Then press Enter, and here we are. Then you can relink the mask to the layer again. In this video, I will show you how to mask filters. First, I will show you the regular way to have a dynamic effect when you are dealing with filters. I will press Ctrl J to duplicate the background, and then I will go to Filter, something like Pixelate, Crystallize for example. Choose the cell size, then click OK. Now if I want to bring back the eye and the background, I can make a mask Then press B to choose the brush. Make sure you are choosing the black, and then click right there, and of course click here to bring back the background. But this is, for my opinion, not a professional way. I will show you another better way. Let me delete this by pressing backspace and convert this layer to smart object. And now again go to filter, and you can play with any filter you like, including filter gallery of course, but let me stick with the previous example, and let's choose pixelate, crystallize, then click OK. And now you can click right there and choose the filter mask, and you can mask the effect like that. The cool thing about converting the layer to smart object when you are dealing with filter is you have the flexibility to readjust the filter after doing it by simply double click here, and you can adjust the cell size as you want. Click OK, and boom. In this video I will talk about the Alt key. Alt key is one of the most useful shortcuts in Photoshop. Alt most of the time is dedicated with cloning or copying. For example, when I use the move tool and I want to copy this star, I can simply press and hold Alt. Notice the cursor has changed, and click and drag like so to make a copy. I will press Ctrl Z. You can use the Alt key with transformation. For example, when you go to Edit, Free Transform, you will find the transformation shortcut is Ctrl T, but when you add Alt to it, you will make a copy. Let's now click Ctrl Alt T, and let's change the center to right there, and let's rotate it to make a copy. And if you want to transform again with clone, you can go to Edit, Transform. You will find here Transform again, Shift Ctrl T, and we will add Alt to it to transform with clone. Let's press Ctrl Shift Alt T once and twice. You can use this concept with really interesting effects. For example, I will select this star and I'll press Ctrl Alt T to make a clone, scale it a little bit, maybe rotate it, something like that, and move it right there. And now I will press Ctrl Shift Alt T to repeat the process. In this video I will talk about another key, which is the Shift key. You can use Shift key to select a bunch of layers with just one click. For example, let's select this layer, hold Shift, then click at this layer to select both of them and everything in between. Then you can move them, rotate them, or do whatever you like. Shift is useful with brush tool. With it, you can make a perfect horizontal or vertical lines. Let me make a new layer. Select the white, select the brush, adjust its size, and hold Shift, click and drag to make a perfect horizontal or vertical line like so, or even at any angle. For example, click right there, hold Shift, then click right here to make straight lines. What is amazing about it is that you can play in the brush panel. For example, increase the spacing like so to make dotted line like that. This option works also with eraser tool, clone stamp tool, spot healing and healing brush tool, and also the pen tool. Let me show you. Click right there, hold Shift to make perfect horizontal straight line. Here is vertical, etc., etc. You can use the Shift key for selecting. For example, I want to select those 3 layers, so I will click right there, Shift click right there, and Shift click right there. And also it's very useful with moving. If I want to move them perfectly horizontal, I can hold Shift, or perfectly vertical, I can also hold Shift. In this video, I will talk about Control key. You can use Control key to select more than one layer independently, and you can hold Control when you are selecting any layer here in the canvas to know the dimensions among layers. If you cannot see these purple lines, just go to View, Show, and tick Smart Guides. And if you wish to change the scale, at the moment it's on pixels, you can press Ctrl R, then right click on the rulers and choose the scale you want. In this video, I will show you how to move layers in a specific measurements. Let me hold Ctrl to see the dimension, and as you can see here, the space is 90 pixels and I need to move it, for example, down for 10 pixels. So let's press Ctrl T, and in this section it tells me the current position of that point here in the middle, in the X and the Y axis. X, move it right or left, and Y moves it up and down. And since I can't use undo here because I have committed the number, so I have to press escape and start all over again, so be careful. And now I want to move all the group 10 pixels down, so the position of that point doesn't matter to be up or down, right or left. I need just to add here 10 pixels. And since math is not my cup of tea, so I will press this triangle and I will write here 10 pixels, and this number will be added to the original number. Before I press enter, in this case you can press Ctrl Z to undo, but after committing and press enter you can't press undo. Okay, now if I bring it back, you will see here it was 140 and now it's 150. Let's press enter again. Now holding Control, you will see here it becomes 100 pixel. In this video, I will show you the easiest and fastest way to navigate in Photoshop. The most famous shortcut for zooming in or out is Ctrl plus to zoom in and Ctrl minus to zoom out, which is not very handy for me because, for example, if I want to navigate to a particular area here, for example, I have to press Ctrl plus, then I have to use the pen to go to the area that I want. That's why I use another shortcut, which is holding Alt, then use the scroll wheel. Just hover over the area you want to zoom in and use the scroll to zoom in and out. Very easy and fast. But even this shortcut causes a problem because the Alt activates this menu. For example, when I zoom in, if I press V to select the move tool or E to select the eraser tool or any other shortcut, this will happen. So to solve this problem, we will make the zoom with only the scroll of the mouse by pressing Ctrl K to open the preferences, then go to Tools and tick Zoom with Scroll Wheel. Now, all what you have to do to zoom in or out just using the scroll. In this video, I will show you a quick way to change text and vector shape color. Let me first show you the ordinary way. You select the text, then go to Text tool, then select this and choose the color, then click OK. But I will show you more quickly way, which is using shortcut Alt backspace to fill the text with the foreground color and Control backspace to fill it with the background color. Let me show you. Here is Alt backspace, I fill it with black, and Control backspace, I fill it with white. But if you want to change more than one text, then select them all and go to Type tool, then select the color you like and all of them will be changed. Same thing with vector shapes. Control backspace to white, Alt backspace to black, since white and black are my current colors. If you change another color, use Alt backspace, and here is Control backspace. In this video, I will show you how to fix the repetition issue when you make a pattern. Let's say, for example, you want to make a pattern from this image. So you go to Edit and Define Pattern, choose the name, and click OK. And now when you make a new document, especially large documents, something like 2000 pixels, and then you go right there and choose pattern, you will see this repetition. So to fix this problem, we are going to use filter called offset. Just go to filter, other, and choose offset. And now click and drag until you see the end of the image in the four sides, like so. Then click OK. Now we are going to use the spot healing brush tool to fix these lines, like so, and try to remove any big marks that might causes repetition. Now let's try, go to Edit, Define Pattern, same thing, let's name it 2, and again go to Pattern, and you will see here the difference. It's not fixed 100%, but of course it's better than this one. In this video, I will show you a quick way to know how exactly the feather would look like when you are making a selection. First, let's select any selection tool, for example, rectangular marquee tool, and write here the amount of feather you like. Let's start with maybe 10 pixels. Now click and drag. In this case, I don't know how the feather would look like, so to quickly know that, just press Q for quick mask. If you don't like it, just click Q again, Control D for deselect, and change the amount, maybe something like 50. Click and drag and click Q again. If in some reason this red color is inverted, just double click right there and select selected areas. You can also change the color and the opacity. In this video, I will show you how to make your own custom shortcut for the tools or options you often use and it doesn't have shortcut. For example, in my case, because I use Arabic, which is written from right to left, so I mostly use the Middle Eastern feature located right there. I use these two options, left to right or right to left, to fix these kind of issues. As you can see, the question mark is flipped. But as you saw, it takes too long to go to this option. So I will make a shortcut for it. Let me show you how to do that. Go to Edit, Keyboard Shortcuts, and you can choose from here the shortcut for Application Menu, Panel Menu, or Tools. For me, I need Application Menu. Choose Type, scroll down. Here is the options I'm looking for. Just click, and let's, for example, press on the keyboard Control Shift and slash, and as you can see, Photoshop tells me that this shortcut is already taken, so I will use another shortcut, maybe Control Shift Alt slash. That's perfect. Click Accept. Here is 2, Control Shift Alt star, click Accept. You can save your own shortcut right there. Give it a name, click Save, and here is the Photoshop default, and here is your shortcut. Now click OK. Now simply I will just select this and press Ctrl Shift Alt and slash. In this video I will show you how to change the scale when you are dealing in Photoshop. What I mean by that is, for example, when you go to View, New Guide Layout, you will find here the dimensions in pixels. If you want to change that, simply now press Cancel, press Ctrl R in your keyboard to activate the rulers, and right click on it and change the scale you like, something for example like centimeters. Now when you go back to View, New Guide Layout, you will find now the scale has changed to centimeters. But unfortunately, it doesn't work in every tool in Photoshop. For example, when I select the selection tool, I find here the feather is still in pixel. And when I make a rectangle, for example, I will find here also the dimension is still in pixel. And even if I want to transform it using Ctrl T, I will find here also the dimension is in pixel. So to solve that, simply write the scale you want manually. Let me show you how. I'll press just one click and I will choose here 5 cm for centimeters and click OK. Same thing with any scale. 5 in for inch, and mm for millimeter, etc. It works for everything. In this video, I will show you how non-destructively dodge and burn. First, let me show you the destructive way. And what I mean by destructive is that you lose the flexibility to make changes easily. So let's get started. I will duplicate this layer with Ctrl J, and then I will select my dodge tool to brighten these teeth, something like that. And if you, for example, went away up like that and you want to undo, you have to go back all these steps. And if you close the document and reopen it again, you will find the undo has been gone. Or if you used the eraser tool, you're actually making a hole inside this layer. So it's not flexible at all to make changes. So I will delete this layer and I will make another layer, call it dodge, and change the blend mode to overlay. And now instead of using the dodge tool, we are going to use the brush tool with the color white. Make sure to reduce the opacity, something like 50 or maybe 20%, and just brush like so. You will make the same thing. And if you went too far, you can always choose the eraser tool and erase, and then go back to brush tool and do it again. Not only that, you have also the flexibility to play with opacity. Same thing works with the burn. Change the blend mode to overlay, and this time we are not using white, we are going to use black. In this video, I will show you a quick way to use the pen tool. As you know, when you draw a path using pen tool, we need several tools to adjust it. For example, the direct selection tool to adjust the points and the handles, add or remove anchor points, and finally convert point tool. But as you can see, it's time consuming to go back and forth among these tools. So I will show you easy shortcuts to use to get access to all these tools. Believe it or not, you're just going to use Ctrl and Alt key. Let's first select the pen tool. And now if you want to select the direct selection tool, you just need to hold Ctrl and when you release Ctrl, you will go back to pen tool. Now if you want to add or remove anchor points, just hover over the path until you see the plus to add, and hover over the point until you see the minus to delete anchor points. And if you want to select the convert point tool, just hold Alt and when you release it, you will go back again to the pen tool. In this video, I want to talk about interesting menu in Photoshop, which is Automate. You can find it in File and Automate. In this video, I want to talk about this option, Crop and Straighten Photos. When you try this option for this image, for example, you will find something strange is happening. You will see this, many documents, and you ask yourself, what in the world does this option do? Well, let me first close all of them. This option is mainly used for scanned images, like this for example. When you scan some images, you will probably find something like this. So this option is automatically crop the images for you with just one click. Go to File, Automate, and Crop and Straighten Photos. And let the Photoshop do its magic. As you can see here, Photoshop has cropped the images, but of course you have to deal with the orientation. For example, it's pretty easy. Just go to Image, Image Rotation, and rotate it clockwise or counterclockwise. In this video, I will continue talking about Automate menu. And in this video, I want to talk about this option, Contact Sheet. Let's say, for example, you have a bunch of images and you want to automatically combine them in organized sheets of paper, and under each one of them its name. Of course, doing that will take pretty much time, but not with this option. Let me show you how. Choose from here the folder that has the images you want to combine, and here is some options. For example, include subfolders or group images by folder. And in this section, you can determine the document size. For my case, I'm making it 21 in 29.7 for an A4. And of course, the resolution and color mode. I assume you have an idea about this section. And here in the thumbnail section, you can choose how many columns and rows. I'm making it 2 columns and 3 rows. And you can here choose the font and the size of the font, if you of course want to type the name of each image. Now let's click OK and see what will happen. Now as you can see here, Photoshop has made a well-organized sheets of paper with 2 columns and 3 rows, and below each image you can see its name with the font and the size we have chosen. Pretty easy, pretty quickly. And now if you want to print it out, just press Ctrl P and print it out. In the next video, I will show you an easy way to combine each of these three documents in one PDF file also with one click. Continuing talking about the AutoMate menu, in this video I will show you how to combine these three documents in one PDF file. Just go to File, AutoMate and choose PDF Presentation. You can browse here and choose the file you want to combine from your hard drive, but in my case I will check this option to add the opened documents. And here you can play with the output option, but I will leave it with the default and click Save. Choose the destination and the name and click Save. Now PDF saving panel will pop up. I will choose just the high quality for print and I will leave everything in the default and let's save it. And here we are. In order to continue talking about AutoMate menu, we need to make an action first. So in this video, I will show you the right way to make a good action that works smoothly with any document without error messages and in an intelligent and professional way. Let me first show you what is not intelligent action. I will go to Window, Actions. You will find here the default action that Photoshop provides. Let's try, for example, this action, Vignette. Click play, and here is the message I'm talking about. It tells you the command feather is not currently available, and you have no idea about what it is talking about, since there are no notes or guides in this action to tell you what to do. And when you press continue, it will make a couple of layers with no effect at all. So this is not a good action. Okay, so I'll press F12, and in order to use this action you need to make a selection first, then play it. Choose the feather radius, then click OK. Now let's make our good action. Let's first make a new set, and now let's make a new action, and let's call it blurring the background. Then click record, and now every single step that I will make, it will be recorded here. For example, I will press Ctrl J to duplicate the layer. As you can see, let me expand it. Layer via copy, and let's press Ctrl T and let's scale it down to 70%. Now I need to choose this layer to blur it with Gaussian blur. So the wrong way is to choose it directly from here. It will say select layer background, and this is the tip number 1. Do not specify a particular layer. I will show you why. Let's go to filter, blur and Gaussian blur, and let's blur it, for example, 10 pixels. Then click OK, and let's stop the action. Press F12. And now let's play the action when there is no layer called background. For example, I will unlock this layer and click play. You will see this error message. The command select is not currently available, or you might see a message called the layer background is not exist. And when you press continue, this will happen. So in order to solve this issue, I will select these steps and delete them and play the action again until this stage, and now click record. In order to select the layer you want, you have to use the shortcut, which is Alt, left or right bracket keys. For my case, I want to choose the below layer, so I will press the left bracket key. So it will say here, select backward layer, not a specific layer. Now I can go to filter, blur and Gaussian blur, then click OK. Now let's try it. I'll press stop and F12. Let's change the background, choose the action, then click play. Now everything is good. Now let's complete our action. Click record again, this step, and now I will go to here and choose solid color, and let's select the sepia color like this, then click OK. Now I want to choose the blending mode of this layer. So here's the tip number 2. Don't try while recording. Let me show you what I mean. Now I want to change the blend mode, but I'm not sure which blend mode to choose. So I will try, for example, darken. Nope. Multiply. Okay, it's kinda good. Let's see. Color burn. Okay, I will stick with multiply. So as you can see, every single step has been saved here in this action, and this is not professional at all. So I'll press stop and select them and delete them. And if you want to try, stop the recording first, then try as many as you can until you decide the multiply. Okay, now back to normal, then record, and now change it to multiply in order to save only one step. Now let's press stop, F12, and try again. Everything is good. The tip number 3 is to make a changeable effects. We made a Gaussian blur here in the background with a specific value, but this value won't work in a good way with other images. So with Gaussian blur step, I will press this icon here in order to make Photoshop ask me about the amount of feather. Let me show you. I'll press F12, and now let's click play, and here is Photoshop asks me about the blur radius, so I can change it and click OK. Now I want to do the same thing with the fill color. Press F12 and let's click play. Okay, choose the radius. Okay, choose the color. Alright, great. The tip number 4 is to make notes. Before Gaussian blur here, I need to make a note to tell the person who is going to use this action to choose the radius of Gaussian blur. So I will go to this menu and I will choose insert stop. Right here, choose the radius and allow continue. Click OK, and let's make it above the Gaussian blur. And I will make the same thing with the fill layer. Now let's press F12 and play the action. Choose the radius. Alright. Now choose the fill color. Alright. And boom. Everything is good. Now let's make a final test about our action. Now I will choose the background layer that I want to make the action on it. Then I will go to action and click play. Choose radius. Okay. Choose the fill color. Alright. And everything is perfect. Now the last step is to save your action. Just select the sets and go to this menu and choose save actions. Give it a name and a destination, then click save. And if you want to load it, of course you go to this menu and choose load actions. Now let's continue talking about AutoMade menu. As you can see, it's a time saver menu. So in this video, I will talk about patch. Let's say, for example, you have a bunch of images and you want to make an action to all of them. It will be time consuming to import all of them individually and apply the action to all of them manually, right? That's why patch exist. First, I need to make some changes to the action we have made to prevent any pausing and doing anything manually. You can load the action, I provided it in the exercise files, and then I will select these two stops and delete them, and I will deactivate the pop-up menu with Gaussian blur and make fill layer. Now I will go to File, Automate, Patch. From here choose the set, which is my set, and the action, of course, blurring the background. The source, choose the folder that contains the images, and for the destination, choose any destination you like. In the default, this option is turned off, so that will make me save the image manually. Let me show you. Then you have to choose the format, then click save, and this is not what I want, so I'll press cancel and stop, and let's try again. Now let's check this option and see what it will tell me. It will tell me if there are no save or save as in the action itself, it won't save anything. So I need to cancel and make a save here in the action itself. Let's just import an image and apply the action, and then right there, record and press Ctrl S. And this is really important. You need to choose the format you want to save with the patch option. Then click save. Now I'll press stop and I will delete it. Then again, I will go to Automate, Patch, and Override. Now I have the save command in the action itself. Then click OK. And when I open the folder, I will see the images has been saved. Now let's continue talking about the Automate menu. And in this video, I want to talk about Create Droplet. Well, Droplet is basically just like Patch. The difference here is you don't have to open Photoshop and make the steps that we have made in the previous video. Let me show you. I'll press Create Droplet, and the set, I will choose my set, and of course the action blurring the background. And I will save the droplet in the exercise file, and also the destination, I will save it in the exercise file as well. Then don't forget to check override action save as. Now click OK. Now when I open the exercise file, I will see the droplet that I have saved under the name blurring the background, and now I will just click and drag like so, and I will find here the effect has been made. Let's go back talking about actions. Some of my students often tell me that actions are great, but I wish to make the effects by myself, or even to make great actions by myself, but they don't have the experience yet. So I told them to learn from the actions they download. For example, if you like this action, quadrant colors, and you wish to know how exactly the action has been made. In order to do that, I'll press F12. You need to expand the action and trace it step by double clicking in each step. For example, let's double click and make a snapshot. And now you will find here it made a snapshot. And now convert mode, it's expanded to RGB, it's already an RGB image. Then duplicate current layer. Okay, it duplicated, desaturated, then made some changes in the levels here in the midtones. Same thing with the curves to make some contrast. Now set selection, color balance, set another selection, then color balance, so on and so forth. until you know how exactly this action has been made. Sometimes when you are working in Photoshop, you find that the tool preview has been disappeared, like the brush tool and many other tools such as the lasso tool, eraser tool, pen tool, etc. You don't have to panic and close the software and open it again. You have just pressed the caps lock by mistake. Just press it again to bring it back. So the caps lock make the tool preview disappear. One more time, make it come back. In this video, I will show you how to extract smart object. This is irregular text, which means I can edit it and scale it up or down without any loss from the quality, since the text is a vector. And let's convert it to smart object. Now, if I want to bring it back to a regular text, if I right click and choose rasterize layer, I will lose the ability to edit it since it becomes a pixel layer, which means if I scale it up, it will pixelate. So I'll press undo. If I want to extract the smart object, unfortunately, there are no option for extracting smart object. We have made a lot of suggestions to Adobe to put this option, but no response till now. So we have to do it manually by double clicking in the smart object, then click and drag like so. Let's delete it. Now I have my regular text back that I can edit it. In this video, I will show you how to combine the behavior of the lasso tool and polygonal tool in one selection. Let's start by choosing polygonal lasso tool and make straight lines like so. Now if I want to switch to lasso tool, I need to hold Alt, then click and drag. Now release the Alt to come back to polygonal lasso tool. The operation is the same when you are selecting lasso tool from the beginning, but it's a little bit tricky. Let me show you why. Click and drag. Now hold Alt. Now if you release the Alt, it will close the selection. So if I want to switch back and not to close the selection, you need to hold the left click on your mouse, then release the Alt. Now complete your selection. So it's better to start with polygonal lasso tool. In this video, I will show you why you should use export as instead of save as if you want to save your file as an image format. The first reason is the preview over here, which will show you how the image will look like before exporting it. The second reason is the options here on the right. Of course, you can choose here the format, PNG, JPEG, GIF or SVG. And also you can adjust the image size from here and the canvas size from here. For example, if I want to crop these empty areas, I can reduce it to 1000 pixels only. And also you can save your metadata, which you can find here in File, File Info. And of course convert to sRGB, which is the color mode that browsers support. And here on the left you can export multiple sizes of your current image just by pressing this plus and choose the size, for example triple. Now I will export it in the half, quarter, double and triple. And of course you can adjust specifics right there. Then click export all to the destination and click export, and all your versions will be exported. But of course, if you want to save it as a PSD, for example, then you will use a save as usual. In this video, I will show you a cool method to enhance your selections. Let's say, for example, I want to select this potato. So I'm going to use the quick selection tool. But as you can see, the selection is not good enough, and it will be tricky to adjust it using the quick selection tool. So I'll press undo, and here is what I'm going to do. I'll press right click and choose make work path to convert it to vector path. And the tolerance here determine how many points you want in your path. In many cases, 2 as a default is okay, so I'll press OK. Now I will select my pen tool and modify it. After that, you can press selection here or simply hold Ctrl and enter to bring it back to selection. In this video, I will talk about OpenType SVG fonts. To make it as simple as possible, OpenType SVG fonts, or SVG fonts for short, are fonts that has a built-in effects like colors and gradients in a single glyph. Photoshop CC 2017 has two SVG fonts by default. Trajan Color, which as you can see, if I double click on its layer, you will find there is no styles at all is active. And when you open the glyphs panel, you can choose any other color you like. Or you can highlight a letter like so and change it from here. If for some reason this option isn't working with you, press Ctrl K, choose type, and make sure this option is on. Enable type layer glyph alternates. The second SVG font is Emoji One, which you can obviously create emojis. OpenType SVG fonts are a bit difficult to find because it's something new, but in this video I have 4 of them, and the good news is they are free to download. Unfortunately, I can't upload them in the exercise file, but you can easily Google their name and you will find them. And finally, I can say you can save huge time using these kind of fonts. In this video, I will show you how to make a quick, beautiful effects to your photos. We all know that some applications like Instagram, after capturing a photo, you can choose from many filters. Same thing with Photoshop, you can download external filters and install it inside Photoshop. But I don't recommend that because not all filters works fine with all versions, and most of them has a lot of bugs. Luckily, there are some filters inside Photoshop you can use quickly and easily. They are hidden inside Color Lookup Adjustment. Simply click to activate the menu and click again to minimize it. Then use up and down arrows in your keyboard and choose any filter you like. And of course, you can play with opacity and blending modes. I believe you already know that with the Magic Wand tool you can select specific pixels that has a specific color. For example, if I want to change the color of these two circles, I can select the Magic Wand tool with contiguous, turn it on, and click right here. Then I can fill these pixels with any color I like. But what if I want to colorize the inner transparent areas inside these circles? Also, I can use the Magic Wand tool to do that. Instead of clicking on colored pixels, I can simply click here in empty pixels to select them. But make sure you are selecting the right layer, and of course make sure contiguous option is on. Then I can fill them with any color I like. There is a great connection among Adobe's softwares and each other's. One of them is of course between Photoshop and Illustrator. Let's say you are working inside Illustrator and you want to use your design, which in my case this shape, inside Photoshop. All what you need to do is to select it, then press Ctrl C to copy, and then paste it inside Photoshop. Photoshop will ask you about the type of the object you want to paste. What I am interested in is of course Smart Object. I will uncheck Add to my current library because I don't want to add it. Then you can scale it, rotate it, and of course clone it. The amazing thing is you can modify this shape that you have copied from Illustrator inside Illustrator, and the changes will be applied here inside Photoshop. Remember, it's a smart object. Double click on it and it will be opened inside Illustrator. Make your changes. Then Ctrl S, and here we are. In this lecture, I will show you how to align to a key object. First, let's see the normal behavior of aligning inside Photoshop. I will select all these rectangles and I will align them to the left. So Photoshop will align them with the farthest rectangle to the left, which is this one. Same if I align them to the right, it will align them with this rectangle since it's the farthest one to the right. The same concept is with top and bottom alignment. But for center alignment, whether vertically or horizontally, it will align them without any dependency of any object. It will just calculate the average distance among the objects. In Adobe Illustrator, you can choose a key object to align items with. Let me show you the same example inside Illustrator. I will select all these rectangles, and to define a key object, I just need to click once on it. You will see a thick border around it, and you will find here in the Align panel, it says Align to a key object. Now when I align them to the left, it will be aligned with this key object. In Photoshop, there is no option like that, yet you can still align objects to a key object. Let me show you how. Let's say we want to make this rectangle as a key object. All what you need to do is to target it in the Layers panel. I will use Auto Select to do that. Hold Ctrl and click on it to make a selection. And select all the layers you want to align. And let's align them to the left. So Photoshop will align all these selected layers with that layer. Not only that, but you can also align objects to just a selection. I will make a selection here. Select all the rectangles and align them to the left. In this lecture, I will show you how to speed up your performance inside Photoshop. Each one of us uses some options more than others, depending on the field you are working at. For example, I use few filters in the filter menu, like Gaussian blur. I use it very often. So each time I take a little bit to look for it among all these filters. So what I like to do is to go to Edit menu and choose Menus, and I will look for Blur, and give it any color, and I will do the same thing for Gaussian blur. That way, when I go to filter, it will be highlighted with the color I have chosen. And you can do the same thing with panel menus. I like to do this with layer panel. I will highlight export as because I use it a lot. And then you can save your preset if there is someone else using Photoshop and has his own preset. And if you want to delete it, just select it and click on this trash can.